Hi, and welcome to the Sunday evening service at First United Spiritualist Church. My name is Raphael, and I will be your host. I am so happy to have Melba coming again for Sunday evening service with us. For those who don't know her, Melba Carlsen is a minister with the Spiritualist Alliance. She has taught spiritual healing class along with running a closed circles for many, many years. And she would say about herself, my journey has been and is all about connecting to spirit and being of service to spirit and clients, being a clear channel as possible. And I would add that she does everything with a lot of heart. So I'm very happy to be with her today. So now we will have an opening song. And I hope me being in a portrait is not going to be a problem because I'm going to switch to landscape later. But let's play the opening song. Bear with me for a moment. So it's a song that Melba speak, and it's by Daniel O'Donnell. It's called A Little Piece.
Just like a flower when winter begins, just like a candle blown out in the wind, just like a bird that can no longer fly, I'm feeling that way sometimes. But then as I'm falling way down by the load, I picture a light at the end of the road, and closing my eyes I can see through the dark the dream that is in my heart. A little loving, a little giving, to build a dream for the world we live in. A little patience and understanding for our tomorrow. A little peace, a little sunshine, a sea of gladness to wash away all the tears of sadness. A little hoping, a little praying for our tomorrow. A little peace. I feel I'm a leaf in the November snow. I fell to the ground, there was no one below. So now I am helpless, alone with my song, just wishing the storm was gone. A little loving, a little giving, to build a dream for the world we live in. A little patience and understanding for our tomorrow. A little peace, a little sunshine, a sea of gladness to wash away all the tears of sadness. A little hoping, a little praying for our tomorrow. A little peace. We are feathers on the breeze. Sing with me my song of peace. We are feathers on the breeze. Sing with me my song of peace.
So I will quickly exit and come back. So Melba, bear with me.
Mhm. He's having a little bit of a problem with the connection, so he'll be popping right back.
Does anybody know? I can't seem to get gallery view, and I usually can.
Hmm. Are you on a computer or a laptop?
I'm on my phone actually.
Oh, okay. There's many differences, yeah,
Okay.
between the
I just
phone and the
my
laptop.
my laptop is dead. So
Ah,
died on me. But that's okay.
Raphael, you're muted.
So I'm back, and I hope everybody could hear the song all right.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for that lovely song, by the way. I'm just going to read the 7 principles of spiritualism that we follow as with all the churches worldwide. At First United Spiritualist Church, we value 7 principles: the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, the communion of spirit, and the ministry of angel, the continuous existence of the human soul, followed by personal responsibility, and we believe in compensation and retribution hereafter for all the good and evil deeds done on earth. And finally, that eternal progress is open to every human soul. We have embraced a quote given to us by a spirit called Silverbirch, and who was channeled by a British medium called Maurice Barbnell. On allegiance is not to a creed, not to a book, but to the great spirit of life and its eternal natural laws. So I've been asked to do the opening prayer, which I will do now before Melba does a reading and address. So join me in prayer. Oh, beloved God, dear Creator, we lay our hearts at your feet today and surrender to your loving embrace, looking upon you as a spiritual parent, the perfected love, and the creator of our souls. May we find solace during this hour together. Bless us, bless Melba as she inspires us and is of service to the church. Bless our communities that they find healing, awakening, so we all carry forward in love and light. We love you. We praise you. Amen.
I'm up.
Yes.
The reading that I've picked is from Philosophy of Silverbirch.
It's a
And
good one.
oh, anything by Silverbirch. If you haven't read his books, I really, really encourage you to do so, because I have found that you can pick them up at any time, months after you've read it the first time, and you find something different. It's like it was rewritten for you to reread again. And I find that still. And there's great words of wisdom there. And they apply as much today as they did when they were written. So this is Silver Birch talking. Nothing affords us greater pleasure than to be of help to those who are instruments of the Spirit. If those whose lives untiringly concerned with service Pardon me, let me read that again. If those whose lives are untiringly concerned with serving others feel that any words from me can help them, then I am privileged to be the mouthpiece of those who sent me. We are all engaged in the same mission, charged with a duty of trying to help a sick world to heal itself, to prevent it from performing acts of reckless folly, to abandon practices of selfishness and greed that cause misery to millions, and to allow the Spirit to shine with luster and beauty, as is the intention of the Supreme Power. I do not have to tell you that the road is not easy. I do not have to say that it is not strewn with roses. Suffering is an inevitable part of the progress, an attunement of the soul. It is only in suffering that the soul can come into its own. The man who lives only on the surface of life does not give his soul a chance to find itself. The soul finds itself only when man has exhausted all earthly channels and seemingly believes there is nowhere else to turn. When the extremity of matter is reached, the spirit comes into its own, and the tiny seed of divinity begins to grow and blossom and gradually to bloom in all its beauty. Suffering is the other side of the coin. You cannot have light without dark, sunshine without storm, and you know this. You are richly blessed. You have never been overlooked or forgotten or neglected or left entirely to your own devices from the time you set your hands to the plow of service and decided to follow wherever it went. It is a tremendous spiritual adventure that enables you to bring the power, the light, and healing of the Spirit to those who otherwise would know nothing of its benefits. You are greatly privileged to be the instrument of the mightiest power of the universe. There is no mightier power than the Great Spirit. All it demands of you is loyalty, cooperation, fidelity, trust, and perfect confidence founded on a faith which exists because of knowledge. Do I have to tell you that long before you incarnated into the world, you volunteered for this service? Do I have to tell you that all this was but a prelude, a training ground, a school to learn the lessons to be equipped and fortified and prepared to fulfill the purpose of existence? Do not falter. Do not allow at any time the slightest suggestion of fear to find a lodgment within your being. The power that has brought you where you are will not fail you. It cannot fail. If it could, the universe would cease to exist, for its motive power, its dynamic, its very sustenance would be withdrawn. You are equipped with the greatest armory of all, the power of the Spirit. Let it be your strength, your haven, your refuge, your sanctuary, and your ever abiding inspiration. It will not lead you astray. It will seek only to inspire you to give the utmost service to those who cross your path. The sick man is at a spiritual crisis when he comes to you. It is then he has to make the supreme decision. It is the turning point. Now he has a chance to begin to live as was intended. The sickness is a means of bringing him to spiritual understanding. If you heal the body and his spirit does not begin to express itself, then you have not succeeded, though it is not your fault. But if you can touch the soul, if you can allow the spirit to come into its own, then you are doing something no doctor, no clergyman, no scientist, no philosopher can do. You are enabling the seed of divinity to begin to express itself. As it does so, its association with the power that gave it birth begins to manifest, and that soul begins to fulfill itself. Do not be disheartened if you cannot help all who come to you. The fact that they come is their opportunity. You can only strive to serve. Thank you for listening to that. That was on a chapter that was on healing. Um, Healing is a soul process, not a physical one. When a soul is ready, the healing will take place. It must be so. It cannot be any other way. Healing is the power of life applied to its receptacle, the soul in the earthly body. It is the stimulus, the rejuvenation, the invigorating power applied to the center of life in the physical body. Thank you. I love Silverbirch. It touches me, and it always speaks to my soul. And I believe at this time and space, we're all needing that. We're all needing to be able to touch that power that is greater than ourselves, to make that connection so that we can be there for the loved ones, the friends in our lives. People are struggling little bits and not understanding. And as spiritualists, we're like these little light bulbs that shine, and people are drawn to that, and they have questions. We have questions. Oh, and there's a beautiful kitty cat. We all have questions on our lives, but healing is such a gift, and I really believe that we all have that ability. Some of us have worked on it and have a practice with people for healing, but we all are healers. Do you realize that the moment you sit, somebody phones you? You get the phone and they really need to talk, and you give them that space to talk. You're healing, you're sending out healing. It's an important part of our daily lives, and it happens a lot without us even thinking about it. I want to touch that power, that energy. I want to be the clearest channel possible that I can be for the power of the Spirit to flow through me so that I can send it out, so that I can help others. And I believe truly in my heart of hearts that that's where we're all at. And I know you feel that when you're able to be there for someone. You get this incredible feeling because you've tuned in to the source and you're allowing that to flow through you. And it is a time when I believe we're dealing with a lot of fear out in the world. There's fear of getting the virus. Um, my goodness, fear of running out of toilet paper, although I'm well stocked. But we're allowing fear to kind of come into our lives on different levels that we've not been aware of. And we really need to stop that. We need to wait a minute. No, I'm not going there. I'm not doing things that way. Because once we allow that fear in, it starts building. It takes on a life of its own. And if you stop and really pay attention, you can realize you're less and less connected to source as you allow that fear in. And, turn on the TV and watch the news. That can do anybody in. We have to be really, really aware nowadays of what we're allowing in, because we take that in. And it starts germinating in the mind, and the ego jumps in, and the stories that we can come up with after that of how wrong everything can go. No. Do you know, life is beautiful. Life is out there to be lived and experienced. And yes, there's going to be the ups and the downs. We may need healing ourselves for a particular problem that's occurring. And don't look at that as a failure, that you failed. I've run across that occasionally. That's not a failure. It's something that's happening to the physical body. And it's a really good time to go, okay, sit back and connect to spirit and go, how do I help my body? How do I help my body get better, to come back to balance? That's what we want to be doing. It's positive energy then. If you imagine, we've people have taught, if you have plants and you sit, and one plant you're really, really nice to, the other plant you're not, or you don't even speak to it. You water them and you'll see such a difference in the growth in the plants. It's pretty incredible. So we need to be aware of what we're telling ourselves on a daily basis, because you can get caught in that so easy. And it's no, change whatever it is to the positive. How can I help myself? How can I help whatever's going on? Because there's always something we can do. There's always a positive that we can do in there. And that way, we're much more aware when people come in, to our little bubble, um, and we can feel their upset. We can feel their need of healing. And when they reach out, we're able to be there because we can identify that energy. We can feel that. We know that energy. It's been interesting throughout this journey. I actually ended up at one point with my lower back in the hospital, and I went into fear. Not about what was going on with me, but about, oh my God, I could catch something in here. There's sick people in here. Oh, dear Lord, get me out of here. And I had to flip that because I felt myself feeling worse and worse. The pain level got higher and higher. And you know what? That was me. That was my body. And that's because I had bought into the fear. And when I was able to flip that script, the pain lessened and I was able to start getting back to a balance. And I worked on that. I worked on that balance in my life because, you know, when we're balanced and tuned into spirit, we get so much out of life and we see so much more in our daily life when we're not quite in sync. And I know you know what that is, because I've done that and I can feel, wait a minute, I just not sync. I'm not in sync here and I don't like this. And then I just take a moment and tune back into spirit. Okay, tuning into that loving energy that holds us, supports us, and is there at every single moment of our lives. No matter what we're going through, stop, take that deep breath, and make your connection to God, whatever you call it. Make that connection. Do that on a daily basis as much as possible until it is second nature and very easy for you to do. And you find you won't be jarred off your path as easily. And you'll be able to tune back in and go and breathe and bring that energy back in and allow that beautiful flow of healing energy to occur. Um, Someone was asking what the book was. Just a moment. I thought I'd said it. I'm sorry. It's Philosophy of Silverbirch. And there's a whole group of his books. I don't know if your church sells them through the church at all, but very easy if you go online to find them. So for this week coming up, everyone, try 3 times a day to check in with your spirit. You know, in the morning, noon, in the evening, try to put that in as a deliberate action, as something that you've planned out. Yes, this is what I'm doing, and see if that makes a difference to how your day goes. See if you go through it easier, more loving, and being more of the person and people that we want to be, because we're all working at that. We're working at the love because it's important. It's so important. It's important to me in my life. I want to be that loving person. I want to be there for people when they need it. So try that. Try it in your life and see how that works for you. Okay, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Melba. And yes, I did mention the title, but it was the wrong title. So you're right. In terms of announcement, what's going on at the church on Tuesday, 27, it's going to be healing service with Neville Kim Singh, like every month. He has been doing these group healings, very well attended. It's very nice. I really recommend tuning in. And then the development circle will be by Joanne Fetchko on Friday 30th and Saturday 31st. We have really exciting event with a virtual greetings from spirit with British medium Ellen Somerville. It's going to be all virtual readings through Zoom. So please book in advance. Same for Saturday 31st. We have our first ever virtual Crystal Light Psychic and Wellness Fair with 7 readers. So same, we really recommend booking in advance. And so that not everybody is being allocated on the same day. So we have a very smooth running fair. It's exciting, I think, to do it on Zoom. I mean, a lot of our readers already do a lot of readings on Zoom, and they found that they can reach more people, worldwide. So it's really it doesn't matter whether it's in person or on Zoom. It still is working. So and then November 1st, next Sunday, we have in the morning Alan Jean Fak, and the evening we have Leslie Prentice. So here you go. So thank you, Melba, for your service, and it did inspire me to do the guided meditation about healing. So let's do a healing one. So if you're home and you want to turn down the light a little bit, feel free to do so. Get into your comfortable pose, your meditative pose. Close your eyes. So I wish for everyone to remember to surrender to whatever is happening. Just allow it to happen. And let the mind be the mind, and try to focus on the center of your being, your chest, your heart space. Breathing normally and visualizing, feeling, sensing, however you see it, your inner light. Beautiful light. How does it shine for you today? What is the sensation, the feeling that comes with your inner light? Now asking the mind to allow the soul to conduct your healing, to take a back seat and allow the experience of healing to come to you. And I pray to the Creator, to Source, infinite intelligence, dear God, please make yourself aware, make your presence feel close. May you materialize healing into our bodies. May your healing manifest where it is needed. We pray that your servants, ministering angels, spirits be around us tonight to help us receive your great light, igniting our soul to conduct the healing. We further open our soul to the inflowing of your love into our hearts. We visualize this light shining bright into your heart. And you're breathing the love from Spirit, from the Creator, straight into your heart. And with each breath, your soul is now your new reality. And you allow yourself to surrender to the Creator. Please open your heart to this love, those healing energies. Breathing in love, breathing out all that you no longer need. As you sit now in the silence of your soul. And we pray for each other's healing. And wherever we feel guided to hold in our prayers. Oh, dear Creator, beloved God, we thank you for this time of healing together. We thank all spirits and guardian angels that helped us in the process. And we promise to reach out whenever we are in need and not to be prey to negativity, but to all positive thoughts and thoughts of healing towards ourselves and for others. Amen. Now, to wake us up, I'd like to try again to play a song, and hopefully this time I will not disappear. But if I do, Melba is gonna start a demonstration of mediumship. We're not missing out. So here we go. So let's turn our love and light to Melba as she's starting her demonstration.
Thank you, Raphael. That was lovely. Karen Carpenter had the most beautiful voice, and really, really loved her music. As I was sitting there, I have a gentleman that was moving in that I'm becoming very aware of. Not a very tall gentleman, and a little bit um, a little bit rounded. He had a little bit of meat on the bones, as they say. Um, and he's come in. He's an interesting personality here. There is a whole lot of love. I'm getting father here. Father-in-law. I just heard father-in-law for some reason. Um, and he's coming in with this love. It's really important that he be able to talk to the person here and give them the message that he'd like to impart. This gentleman worked hard all his life, was a good family man. I feel, and he's showing me his home situation where it was quite loving. There was a lot of warmth. If you walked into this room, you felt the warmth of the family. You felt welcome in this family group. Is anybody recognizing this gentleman? Father-in-law. Okay, let me just tell him he's got to give me something a bit more here. Okay. Just trying to see how he left. How do they put up their hands with the little blue guy?
They'll just unmute themselves and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me just go back to him. And okay. He's showing me families, he's showing me celebrations, which is family celebrations. The family would get together, there'd be a whole lot of chaos and noise, but it was all, he enjoyed that. He enjoyed all of that with the kids around, running around, making all sorts of noise. He was fairly well educated here. Just, he said educated, and I'm asking him how educated. Um, he was, yeah, okay. He had he had schooling, and then he was in the trades, is what I'm feeling here with this gentleman. Is this making sense to anyone yet? Maybe Diane, was that a hand up? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did all of that make sense? Some of that?
Most of it did. He was in the trades, but then he went back and became an engineer.
Ah,
So I
okay.
don't know.
That was what there was some hesitation when I asked about the education. Okay, and that's what it would have been. I wish she'd have told me that. That would have been nice to impart. Okay, I'm just asking him to draw in a little bit closer. He wanted a lot for the family. He wanted everyone to have more than what he had and have more advantages, all of that. That was super important to this man.
Mm,
And he really felt because you could do then in your life what you wanted to really do.
hmm.
So he really promoted that. He's wanting to say to you, you don't pat yourself on the back enough. Okay. Um, does that make some sense with you?
Yeah.
Okay. He says you're very self-critical and you must learn to stop that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
He's saying learning from what you've gone through is, yes, we do that and we can take it apart and organize it out. And I'm feeling he's giving me the sense that you're very organized in kind of organizing it out and looking at it. But he said you're not doing that to beat yourself up with it.
Mm,
Okay. You're doing
okay.
that just so that you can see where you would like to do it differently next time, which road you would like to take different. And he wants to you're looking at a few things. I'm feeling there's change out in front of you, and yet you're kind of sitting here going stuck, feeling stuck. Does that make some sense?
Yeah, a little bit. A little
Yeah.
bit stuck right now, but there will be change.
Yes. Yeah. It's coming, and he's saying you need to breathe and just allow it, and
Mm,
then you'll feel the change move in.
mm,
Okay, because right now it's almost a bit of blocking that beautiful energy, because you're not quite sure, and you're not really stuck for any particular reason, I feel, just feeling stuck.
mm.
And, a lot has to do with what we're dealing with out there as well. But boy, is he in your corner. This boy is he's just your cheerleader, I'll tell you. Um, and he wants you to remember that you are very smart. Okay.
Mm,
He
mm,
wants you to remember that whatever it is you take on, he knows you can do it if that's what you
mm.
really want. And he
Wow.
said, nothing's a failure. Okay. And I just asked him what he meant by that. And he's saying, even if you tried something and it didn't quite turn out the way you thought it would, he said, fine, go down a different road. That's not a failure. That's a
Mm,
learning all by itself.
mm,
Okay. This man would sit you down, and I feel that you could talk with him and work things out as you were growing up and through all those years of chaotic stuff. I really feel that he allowed you to kind of sort it all out, so that you knew where you wanted to go. And that was really important. That really gave you, I feel, this foundation, okay,
mm,
that you have. And he's wanting me to really remind you that you have this beautiful foundation, okay, underneath you. And he says you've got knowledge, you've gone
mm.
down many different paths of learning. And he said it's great because he's right there enjoying this with you, by the way. um because he gets to learn as you get to learn. Okay, so
Mm,
he's saying, if you like, call on him, ask for that energy to just come in and really surround you, because the energy, oh, I like it. It just feels so warm, encouraging,
mm,
just like this loving hug that you're missing. And I really feel that just as I had said that, I'm feeling, and he's letting me know, you've been feeling a bit of loneliness on the road.
mhm,
And that doesn't always feel good. And He's saying, just breathe and know that you're never, ever, ever alone.
Mm.
He's always there. Spirit is always there with you. Okay. And if you really need that extra boost, stop and make that connection to him and just tell him what's going on. Lay it out. This is your friend.
Yeah.
Okay. These are our friends and they're there to help us. But we have to reach out and make that connection. And he wants to be there for you. He doesn't like to see you down. Okay. I'm feeling that music is a great, he just gave me that
Mm.
music is something that really lifts your spirits when you play something that you really enjoy. And he's
Mm.
saying, do a bit more of these things that feed your soul.
Mm.
Okay. That
Okay.
lift you
Okay.
up.
Okay.
And he's saying, remember, it has to start with you. And if you're not feeling up and lifted and all of that, you can't lift anyone else, right?
Right. Right.
So you want that in there. And he'd
Mm-hmm.
love to be there to help. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Lovely, lovely gentleman. Lovely gentleman. And don't feel lonely. There's so much spirit around you, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
You get them, and you see the twinkling lights and stuff moving occasionally, and you have all of that going on. So you know they're around you. You
Mm.
just you need to move your energy out into their energy. Does that make some sense? Like expanding yourself.
Yes.
When we get down or we go into fear, we start bringing our energy in and we want our energy out, expanded, right? So we can bring all of that good stuff in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I can leave him with you with a whole
Mm.
lot of love, there was a
Thank
whole
you.
lot of love from this man.
Thank
And
you very much.
can you feel something on your cheek just now? Because he just stroked your cheek.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, oh, that was wonderful.
Mm.
Just a little hi, I'm here. Okay, lots of
Okay.
love. Lots of
Thank
love
you.
to you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for bringing him in.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Let me see who I have. I have a lady that I feel is coming in now. Excuse me. And this lady was tall and slender. We would have used the word willowy to describe her. She, I'm just, okay. I'm just asking her to come in a bit closer here. This woman loved the beach. She lived at the water's edge if she could. It fed her. It fed her soul. It brought her peace. And she was very ill near the end of her life. I'm feeling that was cancer, and she was quite sick. So she would go down to the water because that's where she felt happiest. That's where she really could connect to God, to her connection with spirit. And that just gave her and brought so much joy into her life. You know, okay, okay. Does anyone know a woman that would fit? Does anyone pick up on that? Okay. All right. As I talk away. Okay, I'm not just saying she'll have to bring me something in here or I need something more from her as to who she's connected. Do you know what I'm feeling? And I went to say that before, that this is more of a friend link than it is family, although you were close friends. But this is definitely, as I said, friend link. She said yes. Okay. So it's definitely a friend. And it would have been someone that you could share the spiritual journey with. It was someone who was on her own spiritual journey. She called herself a spiritualist. So it's ringing any bells? Anybody recognizing this
Charlie
lady?
raised his hand.
Oh, Charlie. Hello, Charlie. I'm glad your face is there. Okay.
Okay.
So you recognize that?
In a very esoteric way, I
Oh,
recognize everything
okay.
you've said.
Okay. That's okay. I'm just passing that along, although she heard that I would like more something substantial here so that you really, okay. She was someone who encouraged you, I feel. I'm feeling that you were doing things on your journey that she couldn't be doing because she was looking towards passing over to spirit. That was her journey. Um, but she's telling me, and I'm feeling there was a lot of love here towards you because of your understanding and what you shared. Okay, does that make some sense? It gave
Yes.
her a lot of peace. It solidified some thoughts that she had in her mind by having discussion with you about the other side, about where she was going. And that took away, she said, some of the pain. Oh, that just touched my heart. Sorry. Um, it really, really helped her. And she's here saying thank you. And she's saying she's aware that your journey has changed. There's been some changes for you, some big changes. And she's really wanting to encourage you, okay, to keep going because there's so much ahead of you. There's so much more coming up. You're just not sure. I'm feeling like you have choices in front of you and just not positive which choice to take. Does that make some sense, Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. She's wanting to just say, go with your gut. You know how to do that. You know how to tune in and it'll just feel right because you're being there for people now is what she's telling me here. She said, oh, okay, don't ignore them because they really need you. They really need you because of their journey at the moment. And I get some of this is hidden. I'm just asking her to give me a little bit better on that. Um, I'm feeling that you have some people around you that they may be in a circle that you're doing or people that you know that you're teaching in some way that really really need you at the moment and you might not be as aware of that as you could be at the moment because they haven't told you. Okay, it's something they haven't shared but they really need you and it's just an encouragement that you're there for people, you know people. And you know the love that you give and the guidance you give is so important. And just to remember that, okay, she's really wanting to say, you know, you've hit a couple bumps in the road, she says, and but don't let that slow you down even. Okay. She really wants to encourage you on that. She said, you learned from your bumps in the road. And that's what they're meant for. That's what's important in this. And she really wants to send all of this love to you. Okay. You did so much, and we're so there for her that if she can be there, if you would like to call on her at any time, she would love to be there. Okay. Make some sense?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now I'm just asking if there's anything else. She just just wants to surround you with a whole lot of love. Do you sit in a chair? I'm seeing um ugh, it's like a sheepskin or something on a chair. Do you sit in a chair that has like a fur on it, a sheepskin or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, she's just pointing it out. She just wants to make sure you know it's her. And I'm going, okay. I know they're very comfortable. So she just wants to send all of her love. And again, so much thanks, so much appreciation because you made her passing so much easier. And that meant the world to her. All right.
Would you like to know what that's all about?
Yes. Yeah, please.
The tall, slender, willowy
Mm.
tree that was in my backyard that became ill, that had a chair with sheepskin underneath it,
Oh, for God's sakes.
that we had to cut down this morning, and I felt very badly
About
for the
it.
tree.
Did you used to
So,
sit out there?
yeah, every morning.
Okay. Huh.
So that's the plant world talking to us.
Yep, yep.
That
And
was
there's nothing
that
but
was
love.
beautiful.
There
That
was
was
nothing
beautiful.
but
Thank
love.
you.
Aw, you're very welcome, Cherry.
Thank you.
Cherry. I don't know where that came from. Charlie. Aw, thank you. Raphael,
Yes.
do I have time to do another one or
So
no?
you're right on the hour, so you have time to
Yeah.
do another one.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's
Let
an
me.
hour now 15, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Thank you. Okay. Hmm. I'm looking at these black squares. It's like, um, Harbinder, may I come to you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Not sure why. I was just looking and seeing if they would make a connection differently here. Um, is Dad on the other side, please? You just moved.
You see me? Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Because I heard Dad. I don't see him yet, but I heard Dad. Whew. I'm seeing his hands at the moment, and these were hardworking hands. These hands, I, I'm getting a lot of love came through these hands, an awful lot of love, but they also worked very hard. And he's an interesting man here. He's telling me he went through times, and of course, going back that many years, life was hard. So it came down to what was important was putting food on the table and making sure you had clothes on your back, making sure the kids had as much education as they could. Does this make sense? This was all what was important to him and that he pulled together.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. He's wanting to say that he's around a lot. He watches what you're up to, what you're doing, and he's telling me there's been some disappointments. Does this make some sense to you? Some sort of big disappointments along the road here that you've kind of maybe dragged along a little bit with you.
Um, I think so. Maybe.
Okay, okay. Well, I guess we all could say we've had, disappointments and things. He's wanting you to look at that maybe a little bit closer because he said, blow it away. That could sound bad, but get rid of it. Get rid of that. Don't allow that in your life because you're only going one direction, he said, and that's on that road. And full steam ahead, he says. And he said, you can do it. He knows that. Okay. And he's saying you need to be enjoying the journey more. He's saying you haven't always kind of enjoyed the journey along. You haven't taken, okay, thank you. You haven't taken the time out to enjoy what you have actually accomplished. Does this make sense?
I think so, kind of.
Okay. Let me see if he could give it to me clearer. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just enjoying. He's giving me this in feeling, so it's English was not his first language, was it?
Not so much, yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
I can speak pretty well too, in a
yeah,
way.
okay. He's wanting to just let you know that things are going to start to open up for you. Okay, you've put a lot out there and some things are going to start to happen. It'll feel like movement again. And I know, like with COVID-19 and that, we're all kind of at home. Some are out working, but it feels like that movement has kind of stopped. And he's just saying, it's going to start going again. It's going to start flowing. So just be ready for that. Just be open, okay, for what comes along. Are you looking for a new job? I just heard job, new. Okay, yes, no.
Well, I've been thinking it for a very long time,
Okay,
but I haven't found anything yet.
okay. Watch for
Unless,
it.
mm,
Watch for it, because with this new influx of energy coming in, okay, watch for the opportunities. Because he's saying yes, you are going to be okay. It because you're not having that satisfaction. You're not feeling that anymore. And for you, it's really important to have that in a job. It's something you're spending that many hours doing, because it has to fill you up. It has to make you feel good and make you want to get in there in the morning, right? Okay.
yeah, more.
Okay.
I've been practicing on healing
Yeah. Well,
and
and I
mediumship
mean,
too, but
that's fabulous. That's because that feels wonderful. And he says he's there with the healing. Okay. I just said not the mediumship. He just, he's there with the healing.
right.
He loves the healing. So call on him when you're going to be doing your healing, because he'd love, if only if you would like him there, and like his help from the other side on that. Because it's not something he would have been into so much. But he's finding it really fascinating that you are, because he's now learning too, and he's learned since he's gone over. He just laughed. He's letting me know he changed a lot of his outlooks once he passed to the other side, which of course they're going to. Um, you know, we are able to then see this wider view of everything. But yeah, he would love to be there with that, and help you with that if you're open to that. He's sending so much love. Okay, he loved you, and I hope you know that. I feel so much love from him right now flowing to you. Can you feel that? Can you feel him? I see your shoulders, around your shoulders. Can you feel him around, energy around your shoulders right now? It,
Yeah, I
it
can.
okay, just
Yeah,
when you feel that, breathe into it, because that'll breathe it in. It'll breathe it in. It will open it up. Okay, that much more. So I'm gonna wrap that up and leave him with you. The love that is there is just incredible,
yeah,
and just he's saying you've got great things to do, so go ahead and do them.
yeah.
Okay,
Surprising. His mom. Yeah, his mom. My grandmother is the one
mm.
who is more on the helping me on the healing side.
Uh, Try him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might be really surprised.
Well, I'm
You might
surprised
be.
now that it's changing too. So
They do once they cross over.
yeah,
You know, it's a whole different world. They don't have to progress just like we don't. But, I like to say that most of the ones I have come across have and do. And, then they want to become more and more involved. And as you're well aware, they can't interfere. We have to ask. And that way we're giving them permission to come in. All right.
Yes.
I leave you
Thank you
now
so much.
with
Appreciate.
good luck on your journey.
Thank you. I'm even wearing a t-shirt
No,
says
for
journey.
heaven's sakes, journey. There you go. There you go. It covers it all. Thank you, Raphael.
Thank you, Melba. That was so lovely. I just
Oh,
want to remind everybody, if they can and if they're willing to help us, they can donate. FirstUnitedSpirit.ca, there's a donate button, or interact, transfer, FUSC at show.ca. So FUSC at show.ca, or you could buy yourself a reading at our virtual psychic fair next week. That works too. All right, so I'll leave you to conclude with our closing prayer, Melba.
all right. Thank you. And thank everyone here tonight. That was lovely. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you again. So gracious and loving Spirit, God consciousness, walk with us as we go through the upcoming week on our journey, our own individual path, walking it with our hearts and our minds open to the loving wisdom of that consciousness, able to reach out and touch it when we feel in need or when we're with someone who is in need. Remind us and be there with us as we walk in light and love always. Amen.
Amen. All right, I thank you again and wish everybody a
Yeah.
great week ahead. Be ready for Halloween and no harbinger will. I will say bye to all of you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Raphael. Bye-bye,
Blessings of love and light
everyone.
to everyone.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Bye.
And I want to hear about Harbinder's journey in healing. Okay, everyone. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye.